Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Oh man, do we have an absolutely thrilling tactical breakdown lined up for you today. We're diving deep into that wild FIFA World Cup 2026 clash that pitted Qatar against Switzerland. You know, forecasters promised us a beautiful, agreeable day for football, but what we actually got was a fiercely contested tactical war. We're talking stylistic mismatches, stunning counterattacks, absolute defensive masterclasses, and just nail-biting tension from start to finish. So grab your notepads because we're going to break down exactly how this tightly contested chess match ended in a deadlock.
Right from the kickoff, the commentary team hit the nail on the head. We're fully convinced this game will live up to its billing. And honestly, they were spot on. Both managers came into this match with a super clear mandate: play aggressive, attacking football. We weren't looking at two teams who just wanted to sit back and park the bus. No way. We were looking at two squads with entirely different yet equally dangerous offensive philosophies clashing right out of the gate. Okay, let's dive right into this tactical setup, because the contrast in styles literally tells the story of the entire first half. On one side, you've got Switzerland relying on this rock-solid, incredibly experienced central spine. I mean, you've got Manuel Akanji and Nico Elvedi anchoring the defense, with Remo Freuler and Granit Xhaka pulling the strings in the center of the pitch. That is a formidable core, for sure. But then look at Qatar's primary threat. Qatar came in specifically hunting the flanks, using wide players who are absolute specialists in one-on-one situations, backed up by some exceptional off-the-ball movement. It was a classic showdown: central stability versus rapid, wide dynamism.
Section 1. An early breakthrough.
It did not take long at all for that wide, rapid dynamism to completely fracture the Swiss game plan. Just moments into the match, Qatar's tactical setup paid off spectacularly. Like the commentators noted, the pace in which they break forward is devastating. And it truly was. Qatar just soaked up a brief moment of pressure, won the ball back, and exploded down the pitch. It is so incredibly hard to defend against that kind of raw speed. The movement from the Qatari attackers was practically flawless. It pulled that rigid Swiss central defense completely out of position and, boom, resulted in an early, comfortable finish. Just like that, Qatar is up 1-0, and Switzerland is left totally stunned. So let's trace the chaotic momentum swings of this first half. Right after kickoff, we get that devastating Qatari counterattack to make it 1-0. For the whole next stretch, Switzerland is just scrambling. You could see them throwing numbers forward, getting desperate to find a way back in. They had some near misses, sure, a decent effort from Vargas that wasn't a million miles away, but Qatar's defense was holding the line with some really top-tier tackling. But as the half wore on, you could see that relentless Swiss pressure starting to make the Qatari defense sweat, leading directly to our next crucial moment. Section 2, the turning point, the penalty. Now, the equalizer didn't come from some spectacular 30-yard rocket. It came from methodical, clinical pressure. Step 1. The Swiss midfield slips this brilliantly clever ball straight into the Qatari box. Step 2. In the ensuing panic, a Qatari defender makes a rash, pretty poor challenge. The referee had absolutely zero hesitation here. Step 3. He points straight to the spot and takes the player's name for a yellow card. And finally, Step 4. The Swiss penalty taker steps up and delivers a perfectly confident finish away from the middle, completely outsmarting the keeper, who was really banking on him staying central. Just a textbook sequence to punish a defensive error. And that left us deadlocked at 1-1 at the end of the first half. After 45 minutes of just frantic, attacking football, a devastating counterstrike, and a gritty, clawed-back penalty, the game was perfectly poised. Both teams are heading down the tunnel knowing that the next 45 minutes are going to require something truly special to break this tie. Section 3, the battle of the keepers. Because in the second half, the narrative shifted completely. We went from this wide-open attacking showcase to a sheer defensive masterclass. As the half progressed, the tension in the stadium was just palpable. Could we see some late drama? Both teams are still pushing hard. Switzerland is creating these massive chances where, frankly, you'd bet the house they'd score. And Qatar? They're still launching those terrifying counterattacks. The setup was absolutely there for a dramatic winning goal. But the guys standing between the posts simply refused to let it happen. The energy of the second half was perfectly captured by this piece of commentary. An awe-inspiring piece of goalkeeping to prevent what would have been a magnificent goal. We watched a Qatari counterattack culminate in a great cross and a massive chance, only to be met by a sprawling, unbelievable save. And it wasn't just on one end. Both goalkeepers basically decided to put on a clinic. I mean, let's just look at the specific heroics we witnessed. We saw lightning-fast reactions from the Swiss keeper to deny a point-blank, close-range effort. We saw last-ditch, goal-saving defensive interventions from both backlines, just throwing themselves in front of the ball at the last possible second. When the keepers were finally beaten, well, the woodwork decided to play extra defender, with one brilliant Swiss attack foiled by a very stubborn crossbar. And throughout it all, just incredibly sound, fundamental goalkeeping to confidently catch and clear these sharp, dangerous crosses. It was literally an immovable object meeting another immovable object.
Section 4. A game of fine margins. As the clock kept ticking down, it became incredibly clear that these two squads were just flawlessly matched on the day, and this brilliantly illustrates the reality of high-stakes tournament football. As the commentators sighed, margins, margins, nothing to split the two sides. Think about it. An inch lower on that shot off the crossbar, a fraction of a second slower on that diving save, a slightly better defensive angle on that early counterattack. Any single one of those micro moments could have completely flipped the result of this match. But because both teams executed their defensive recoveries so well in that second half, those margins remained razor thin. Which brings us to the 90th minute. The board goes up, and the referee signals for just 2 additional minutes of stoppage time. The tension is at an all-time high here. The teams are dead level, and suddenly every single throw-in, every clearance, every single corner kick feels like it carries the weight of the entire tournament. One final, nicely worked routine from a corner results in a decent header, but it just has a bit too much hype and sails over.
And with that, the referee blows the final whistle. Nothing to divide them, a 1-1 draw. After a tightly contested battle of contrasting tactical setups in the first half and an awe-inspiring display of goalkeeping heroics in the second, neither side could find that final elusive margin of victory. It was a brilliant exhibition of football, honestly, but one that ultimately ended in a stalemate. So, what should you really take away from all this? Well, this match is a perfect case study in how tactical mismatches can be completely neutralized by sheer individual brilliance and resilience. But it leaves us with a burning question as we look ahead in this World Cup. In a tournament defined by these incredibly fine margins, which of these two teams will actually find a way to capitalize on their chances next time? Will Qatar's wide pace carry them through, or will Switzerland's central grit win out? Let that simmer for a bit. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time as we continue to break down the beautiful game.